We will begin in Michigan, where there is a new development in this story. Oakland County prosecutor announced charges against the parents of Ethan Crumbley. He's the 15-year-old high school student who allegedly shot and killed 4 of his classmates in Oxford High School. Let's listen to that moment.
No other parent or community should have to live through this nightmare. I have shared previously, and I will reiterate today, that gun ownership is a right, and with that right comes great responsibility. Based on the information and evidence I have received, today I am announcing charges against the shooter's parents, Jennifer and James Crumbley.
Ethan's parents are now facing 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, each with the prosecutor citing an extraordinary amount of evidence recommending these charges. She claims each count could yield 15 years in prison if they were served consecutively. Joining us now, ABC News contributor and managing partner at the Cochran firm, Channa Lloyd. Channa, good to see you on this important and serious day. And I want to start with these charges brought against the parents of Ethan Crumbley. The prosecutor said she's got an extraordinary amount of evidence, including a peculiar text sent by the mother. Let's listen to how she described that.
When the news of the active shooter at Oxford High School had been made public, Jennifer Crumbley texted to her son at 1:22 p.m., quote, "Ethan, don't do it."
Go right.
So, Channa, we have seen, alas, in our country, many school shootings. Not many parents being charged with involuntary manslaughter. So what is the prosecutor saying that she can prove? What does she have to prove about these parents? That they knew or had reason to know that their son was going to do this, or that they were negligent in the firearm purchase that they made? It seems that the prosecutor's burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt here to prove that these parents are culpable for the killings that their sons did, that might be tough.
It is a high burden for them. Essentially, what they're saying is that these parents were criminally negligent in the way they handled him having the firearm, possession of the firearm, that it rose to the level that someone would pass, even though they didn't intend for the people to pass. So there's no intent requirement here. It's just that the negligence that you were accused of rose to the level that you are now culpable for the murder. So essentially, she's saying that these parents didn't do enough to prevent this when they had enough knowledge. She's saying they had knowledge of the gun. She's saying they had knowledge that he may act out. They had been shown the picture. So they had these opportunities to stop this from happening, and they did not stop it from happening.
You know, there were also so many warning signs. Channa, we were talking about this early on. There was the meeting with the parents. There were the posts on social media. And yet Ethan was still allowed to enter the classroom, go back into the classroom before committing the atrocities of that day. The prosecutor saying she even believed that gun was in his backpack. So should the school face any legal consequences here?
There is a possibility. We have to remember that the school is going to have to balance out his individual rights as a student. If there was some mental health concern, there may have been issues about how that could be disclosed, whether or not he could actually be suspended at the time. That we also have to look at what their protocol is. We're also going to look at the parents, because they had the ability to take him out of school voluntarily, knowing that he may have been in possession of this firearm. So there's definitely going to be a close look at how that parent-teacher conference, what information they were given, and what they knew going into the conference.
And Channa, the prosecutor there also spoke about Michigan's gun laws, and she offered some very stark criticism of them. Let's listen to that part.
Michigan's laws are woefully inadequate. We don't have a safe storage law. You're not legally required to store your weapon in a safe manner. Children are allowed to attend with their parents so long as their parents is present. So the answer to that question is we don't have strong enough laws.
Well, and Channa, let me pick up on that in relation to convicting these parents of criminal responsibility for the killings that their son did. If there is no Michigan law that requires parents to keep a gun secure, firearms secure from their minor children, and the prosecutor criticizes that. She wishes that the laws were stronger. And what is the parent's legal responsibility here? I guess the standard is negligence, is what you were talking about. But once again, we generally punish the people who did the crime. That's why we've had so many school shootings in this country, and you don't see parents prosecuted for them, because we hold individuals accountable for their actions, not necessarily parents who may have raised them badly. Does the fact that Michigan's gun laws are weak make the prosecutor's job tougher here?
Absolutely. If they had a safe storage law, if they had other laws, then she would have other avenues by which she could pursue charges against these parents. We have a state attorney here, and we have to remember that the state attorney is always bound by the laws that the legislator has put in place. If they don't put those laws in place, then she cannot create a charge based on that. However, I'm sure she's looking at, there are public safety laws about bringing a firearm into a weapon-free zone, such as a school. We also have to remember that as a parent, when you have certain information, you still have a duty of care because it is a minor child. He is a minor according to the law. So if they allowed him to have a firearm that he could have taken into a school, and they had knowledge that there was some situations that he may wish to harm other children, they had a duty to stop him from doing that as a parent. So I think that's what we're going to start to see. And as this investigation unfolds, the information that they had regarding his any intention to harm other students, his ability to possess the gun or have the gun in his possession, is going to be critically looked at when we're looking at what the responsibility of these particular parents were in this situation.
Well, Channa, we just got some breaking news, and this is going to add to this conversation that we're having about the parents. Apparently, they were scheduled to surrender today at 2 p.m. for a 4 p.m. Court appearance. They have not surrendered. The sheriff's fugitive task force is now out looking for them, Channa, and a bolo has actually been issued. And it says here, it's not known whether there has been a mistake here within communication or if they've attempted to flee. So this story picks up more speed.
It does. And if they've attempted to flee, now they've got criminal responsibility, obviously.
Trevor Ault, I'm told, is joining us on the phone. He's been covering this from the start. Trevor, we're kind of in the moment here. We just got the word about the parents. What do you know? Are they attempting to flee? Is this a mistake in communication? They were supposed to surrender at 2 p.m. today.
Yeah, that is the big question, Kira, and something that even law enforcement is trying to figure out. And this is yet another wild turn in what has been a day of wild revelations, where we heard all of these different things laid out by the prosecutor and the role that the parents may have allegedly played in the days leading up to this shooting. And now that they are facing these charges, each of them 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, which each could potentially carry 15 years in prison, it is possible now that they are on the run. And we've heard the sheriff just spoke with CNN and said that they are not sure if this family is armed, but they're going to treat this very carefully, as you can understand. And what we certainly know is that this is a family that talks about how they are well armed and defend themselves. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are in hiding or that they would be defending themselves with weapons. But now this story has been ratcheted up even further from what we learned this afternoon from the prosecutor laying out all of those different facts here. And the only time that we have seen, Kira and Terry, these parents were at the arraignment for their son, where they only spoke very briefly to acknowledge that they were his parents. And you could see sort of the fear on their faces there, understandably. I mean, their son is facing multiple charges of first-degree murder and terrorism and also, but even just in the moment of identifying themselves, you could see his father, James Crumbley, his lip was quivering as he confirmed that they were the parents. Now they're facing these extensive charges, and it does seem to be possible that they are running away from turning themselves in.
Trevor, that is remarkable reporting. Thank you for that. As you also note, it is not sure. We're not sure. The sheriff is not sure what the situation is here. They could have gotten lost on the way, or are looking for another lawyer, or there are all kinds of reasons. But they were supposed to show up and they didn't. And I want to go to Channa Lloyd on that. Channa, if in fact this is a situation where they have fled from arraignment, Could that be used in a trial on the manslaughter charges as evidence of consciousness of guilt? They were running away because they knew they did something wrong.
Absolutely. If in fact they are leaving, they're fleeing and eluding, there's other charges that could be levied: obstruction of justice, fleeing, eluding. There's a number of things that could come out of this if in fact they are on the run. And it also can speak to state of mind. We heard that text that allegedly the mother sent saying, next time don't get caught. All of these things go to state of mind and intent. So when you're looking at them in the future and you're looking back, it'll be seen with the totality of the circumstances. So this is really something that they should really turn themselves in, and we'll see if there was a miscommunication or if they're actually fleeing.
All right, Channa, Lloyd, stay close, because I have a feeling this is going to continue to develop. And Trevor, Ault, also, please let us know as soon as you have more information. Appreciate you both. We'll stay on this story. If indeed these parents have fled, this goes to a whole different level here.
It surely does. And if, as the sheriff noted, they are armed, or they have weapons and have talked in their social media and elsewhere about their right to bear arms, which they certainly have. But in a situation like this, be on the lookout for sure.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.